Hi, welcome to Hope in the Light of Suicide. I'm Tammy. I'm your host and founder and CEO of the Bobby White Foundation. Welcome. Lot going on November. This time of year, anyways, there's a lot going on, but we got added stuff going on, both with the foundation and the studio. So, first, got to thank John Gaston with Area 52 Media Group for us being able to bring this show and this information to you. If you want to do your own show, contact Area 52 Media Group. One thing we want to say, because I want to make sure that I get it right, but I got him in my ear just in case. The station is going to be down over the weekend because we are moving studios. But the shows, you can still find the shows on the website. They just won't be per se live. You can get them on demand or on the Facebook pages and YouTube. But it'll be down live from this Friday, which this will be Saturday when this shows, but we'll be back up and running on the 3rd. So, but everything is still available. It just won't be like live. So just want to make sure. Evidently, I got it right because I don't hear anything in my ear. Also, I want to thank Delynn Gaston with the mortgage firm for her sponsoring the show. Everything Mortgages. I guess she just did a seminar recently here locally that got pretty good information and pretty good reviews from people I saw. So everything Mortgages. It's a crazy time out there. Of course, I don't know that in the mortgage and real estate industry there isn't a time that it isn't crazy. But that's why you need somebody that knows what they're doing. And she's your gal. So really want to thank her. And even though it is a super busy time of year, we still have our support groups going. Our next support group will be November 12th. That's the Spring Hill group at the NAMI Hernando office in Spring Hill at 6:30. And then November 20th will be the Newport Richie support group at the Oasis Coffee Spot at 6:30. So remember, anybody dealing with suicide lofts, whether you're a family member, a friend, coworker, you're all welcome to these groups. It's a peer-to-peer group, so everybody there, they understand what you're going through. Everybody might be on a different place in their journey, but it's a safe place for you to come, and you don't even have to say anything if you don't want to. But usually you will. But it's a safe place, so we just want people, to know that. So, like I said, it's really busy, and trying, coming into the holiday seasons is hard for a lot of people for many, many reasons. And when you're dealing with suicide or mental health issues, it can make it, a lot harder. So it's really important that you do whatever you can that's going to be best for you for your self-care. I'm struggling with that right now because, we added on our plate, which we've been talking about the last couple months, and it's been a whirlwind because we didn't have a whole lot of time to plan it. Things are falling into place. Of course, a lot of it the last minute is our Pasco Walk for Hope 2025. It is a week from now. You can still register to walk, to be a sponsor, to be a vendor. You can just donate. It's at Sims Park in downtown Newport Richie, which is a really super nice park right on the river there. A lot of events are held there. we're really thankful to the city of Newport Richey for their support, and it's it's going to be a good time. So if you're in the area and you want to participate in the walk, you can pre-register online with that QR code, or go to the BobbyWhiteFoundation.org and that web page there, Walk for Hope, and you can register there for anything, for sponsorship or vendor or make a team. Um, what team is it? We've got a couple really pretty big teams. Mitchell High School Honor Society, National Honor Society, has there's over a dozen people already on their team, and we've got Premier Community Healthcare has registered a team, and I think they're pretty close to having over a dozen members on their team. So um, it's really coming together, and we were able to secure a couple more sponsors, and we got our DJ in place. Uh, DJ Blue Bloods. I haven't seen her in a while, and it took me a little while to figure out where she was, but she jumped right on board. Of course, it made it a little bit easier because the Alliance for Healthy Communities is actually sponsoring the DJ. So that's really great. So Alliance for Healthy Communities will also be a vendor at the event. And then we have our Friends of the Walk sponsor, Chris Pagano. There it is. He's financial advisor. He's actually my financial advisor. He jumped right on board. So anyways, so this is the beginning of that. So we're really excited for that. It made for Alliance for Healthy Communities jumping on board really helped out tremendously with us being able to secure our DJ a lot easier. And she's going to have a long day because she's going to be setting up at the park. Like, I think we're going to be there at 6:45 in the morning, and then she'll do our event, and then she's got another event in the afternoon. So it's going to be a really long day for her. So we really appreciate her jumping in and being our DJ this year. And then for people in our community, a lot of people know him. J. David Wright, he's a photographer that goes around shooting pictures of everybody at everything. And he agreed to be our photographer for the event this year. And of course, this is our first one. So it's the first one that is really a local community walk for suicide prevention and mental wellness. And we're super excited about it. I mean, a lot of people in the community are. So it's a lot. I've learned a lot. I'm continuing to learn a lot. Sometimes I think my brain is going to explode, but it's all been good. I mean, you got to keep your brain working. So it's going to be. I think it's going to be a really nice event, a community event. So we had our volunteer meeting actually last night it was for the volunteers for Art for Hope, but now everything's getting rolled we got separate events, but everybody's doing both events. So we had our wrap up meeting for Art for Hope last night, which ended up being a meeting for the Walk for Hope, and also the first meeting. So it was the last meeting and a first meeting for Art for Hope. So we had a lot of discussion because I have a really hard time delegating because my girls are volunteers, and sometimes I don't know. I just feel guilty asking people to do things that I can do. But, um, one of my can't say best volunteers because they are all best, but one of my volunteers, Kim, and her husband, Mitch, and she's tells me that she tries to drill this into my head quite often, and of course she knows how hard that is, but that I do need to start delegating a little bit better. So, because last night I guess I made a comment about how sometimes this just gets too much for me. It's a lot. Um, it, there's a lot that goes on in the background, and when you're a loss survivor and you deal with it every day anyways, but when you do what we're doing here, it's something that you have very few times where you can put this on the back burner and not really think about it. And that's when she was like, okay, you got to start, you got to start having us do some of these things because that's what we're here for. So we put together the beginning of a game plan for next year's events, which it'll start with Art for Hope because it'll be the first one. And we're actually usually we had been starting our meetings in January. This year we didn't. We did it later. But for next year, our first meeting is going to be December 1st. So we're really going to be hitting the ball. I mean, hitting the ground running, and we're going to be out in the community a lot more. And I'm not the one that's going to have to do it all, which will be great. Because sometimes I feel like I'm beating my head against the wall, and it'll be nice to have others. And these gals have been with me for a long time, and they're out in the community anyways, with their stuff. Well, Kim is retired now, so now she has more time for my stuff. But she likes doing that. So we're going to be really out in the community a lot, starting the beginning of the year. And so that in turn is going to get a lot more focus. And I don't know what word I'm looking for people to know more about the Bobby White Foundation and about this show, Hope in the Light of Suicide, and what we're doing in the community, and how, I mean, I talk about it quite often, about the community partners that, in the meetings that we go to with the Zero Suicide Partners of Pinellas and Hillsborough and Pasco Safe Program. But that's like where the Alliance for Healthy Communities comes in as one of our sponsors. We're in it's our Safe Coalition for Pasco County. Together, we're in meetings together once a month, and they know who we are and they know what we do, and we've been at other functions together. But it's nice to see people starting to work with us a little bit more. Even though, we've been around for 7, 8 years, I think. We're still a really, really young organization, and it takes a lot to get people to. I really don't like this saying that much because you hear it all the time, but it's the same thing like when we're networking. You do business with people that you know, like, and trust. But I've been in this community in business come February with the gallery and my custom framing for 32 years. Yeah, 32 years. And that's where I didn't think that starting the nonprofit and doing what we do was going to be so difficult. But wherein the difficulty lies is the subject matter and still the stigma when it comes to suicide, mental health, everything in that area. You still see it, and it's a battle. But maybe one day we'll win the battle, and I mean, I don't see it happening in my lifetime. Maybe that there won't be a need for our organization, but right now there is. So, yeah, so we're going to really be out and about a lot. It was a great meeting. We had some really good ideas, but things are going to have to be implemented, and it's a lot of work. And that's where, like, particularly for me, that I have to really monitor what's going on with me. I have a lot of things I can do around here that are my outlet is my creative stuff. So even my real job, this is my real job too, but my first job with the gallery and custom framing, that's my creative outlet. But this is where I've had a problem, and I have it with my other creative outlets too, is that ever since I lost Bobby, it really, and other people have that I've spoken to have said the same thing. It really changed my brain. It changed the way I think. It uh, just so much, everything, and you don't really think about it too much, especially the first year. You don't even know it. And it really didn't start hitting me until like the third year, when I went through that depression really bad for about 6 months. But when I became aware of it and thought about it, it's like, oh yeah, this is really what's happening, because I'm not that same person that woke up that morning on April 8th, 2016, as I was that evening on April 8th, 2016. Not that same person. And nobody is. It's just the way it is. But that's where education and awareness comes in. Yeah. Even not just for the rest of the community that hasn't experienced what we have, but us as survivors, education and awareness for ourselves to help us through this journey so that we can go on to live productive lives. And everybody's going to go through it different. Everybody's going to do something different to survive. For me, this was it, helping other people, starting the foundation, helping people that lost survivors, because we didn't have the help and support. And we want to be able to give that back to the community. I had the help and support individually from friends, from community people, from business people that I knew, which that's actually a lot more than the average person has. And that just kind of came from the relationships that I had in the community from my being in business here for so long. So I did have more support than the average person would have. And I am so grateful for that. And I still have that with a lot of people. I mean, my volunteers are a prime example. Um, they're just great. Um, but again, most people don't have that. And also because I see this all the time, because I know what our suicide rates are every month in our county, people still don't reach out for help. The majority of the people do not reach out for help. And um, it's sad because we know how hard it is. And it, frankly, it's a lot of work to work through it. It's hard. It's not easy. And it continues. But I don't know. To me, it's worth it. This is my outlet. Somebody else with a loss may take their grief and turn it into something else to help them work through what they have to work through, because everybody deals with grief differently. Everybody's going to deal with the loss differently. Heck, in my own family, my husband's siblings, my sister-in-laws and my brother-in-law, one of my sister-in-laws now, she absolutely has no contact with me at all. Deleted me from her social media, just nothing. And I had to ask her sister, one out of the three I have contact with, and she helps out with the foundation where she can. But I had to ask her because I thought, did I do something wrong? Because when I realized what had happened and I had seen her at a family function and she like totally ignored me, I was like, what did I do? And then when I found out she took me off her social media, I was like, I don't know what I did. And so I asked her sister, and she said that I didn't do anything. It wasn't me. So, I mean, it made me feel a little bit better, but it makes me feel sad, but because I don't have any contact with him. And then his brother moved away without even saying goodbye, and there's no contact with them. I do see what's going on with them on social media, at least, have that part of it, but that's just people dealing with their grief in different ways, and we have to allow it. I'm not upset with her. It's just it's her way of dealing with her grief. So you just have to let people do it. What's that? Mel Robbins has the book. Let them, something like that. I still need to get it, but you just let them be. Let them do. People have to do what they have to do to survive. But anyways, so all this stuff all wraps up around into one big ball. It's going to be a whirlwind week. It's going to be a busy week. Things are falling into place. We're excited about the walk. I don't know. It's so what we're going to do too. So I got to go down and talk to the guy at the city next week. And so we're going to put on the books for next year, the walk for next year. So we can keep this continuing here in our county. And next year we will add another walk up in Hernando County. Even our participants in our support group last month asked, well, we need a walk up here? And which it has already been kind of being planned in the background. And I was like, we'll have a walk up here next year. And Hernando County has never had a walk. We have a lot of people that attend our support group up there. We're very grateful with our partnership with NAMI Hernando, and they're an integral part of that. And it's exciting. So I think, after we have the walk, and actually in a couple weeks, what is it? The 15th, the week of the 15th, our show. So we'll tape a show next week. And the week after, John and I are going to be on vacation. We're going to both be on cruises, but we're going to be on separate cruises. But for me, I didn't even want to go on this cruise. And now I'm like, oh, I need to go on this cruise so bad. Just to get away for 4 days. To recharge so that we can get ready to really get going next year. And I wanted to let you know that hopefully in the next few shows I have I'm hoping 3 guests that I really want to get on here. I can't tell you who it is right now because we haven't confirmed it, but we do have some very good guests that'll be coming on the shows here coming up real soon. So let's get to our quote. Try to be a little bit more upbeat than we have been with the quotes the last couple weeks, but you're going to be okay. Trust me, you will. Maybe not today, maybe not tonight, but you will be okay. This is pretty much something I have to tell myself several times a week, but we will be okay. It's not going to be easy. You have to put the work in. But seriously, it is worth it. It's hard, but it is worth it. Do something to help someone else, just one person. It makes a world of difference in how you feel. Remember to keep these phone numbers available. Have them memorized. The easiest way to memorize it is the 988. You could be the one to help one person. That's it. Because like we always say, well, first, you can give them hope because there is always hope. And I truly believe that. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us.